Please join me. I pledge allegiance
Allegiance to the flag
The flag of the
of the United States of America
America
and to the republic
for
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty
and
and
justice
justice for all.
All right, thank you. We will start the Winona County Board meeting tonight with public comment. Each speaker has 2 minutes, and please give your name and address if you're willing to address the county board. I do see, okay, where'd they go? Mary Jo, I saw you. Now our screen came up with the 2 minutes.
Make sure your mute is off.
Yeah, unmute yourself.
Hi.
Mary Jo, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, thank you. Would you like to address the county board?
Yes, I'm Mary Jo Klinker, and I have to give my address, correct?
Yes, please.
156 East 6th, Winona, Minnesota. I'm Mary Jo Klinker, and I'm a resident of Winona. I'm here tonight because I'm fundamentally opposed to jails and carceral punishment. I am aware, however, that not everyone shares that perspective. But I'm here tonight because I know we can find common ground on how to reduce harm in our community. One clear way to do that is by limiting the size of the new jail. Rather, we need to invest in our community. Having taught courses for the last decade that emphasize the gendered, racialized, and classed impacts of incarceration, I know this: if you build it, you will fill it. I implore you to slow this process and consider the importance of investment in community-based programs and facilities instead. I am not placated as a resident by the narrative that jails are just by the window dressing of mental health and substance use services, which should already exist in our communities. Policing in jails do not make us safer, rather they exacerbate harm. In 2018, the Bureau of Justice Statistics reported that 26% of folks incarcerated in local jails met the criteria for having serious mental health conditions. The Jail Advisory Committee's report reflected a concern over recidivism. More beds will not address such underlying causes. Community services, social support, and mutual aid are better avenues for funding in preventing recidivism. We must build systems of preventative care rather than a bigger, newer jail. Recently, the City of Winona has engaged in planning processes for a non-policing alternative response team, reflecting that criminalization is not medical or mental health treatment. Surely these services will offer further evidence of a need for fewer beds. During the early months of the pandemic, decarceration happened in Winona, exposing the reality of over-incarceration of lower-level offenses, evidence that a larger jail is not necessary. Whenever the pandemic subsides, it will still be inhumane. I am here to urge elected officials to slow down this process and to further envision preventative public health options for our community, not cages. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to address the Winona County Board?
I do. I'm not, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. State your name and address, please.
This is Katie Mueller Freitag. I live at 26743 County Road 15. I live in District 5 and I lived in Winona my entire life. I'm commenting today to let it be known that I object to the construction of the new county jail. I understand that the plans are being made for a 76 to 90 plus bed jail and that the land has or is being purchased already. COVID has exposed the over-incarceration of our community. The highest monthly inmate population for the Winona facility started the year off at 50 inmates in January. That number decreased down to as few as 19 by April, with the average monthly population totaling 31 individuals. These numbers do not warrant the construction of such a large facility. I don't agree with the argument that the county could lease these beds out, as it has been shown that the neighboring facility in Wabasha is underused. With nearby space available at that new facility and in comparing the costs, transporting seems favorable for those looking at this project through a financial lens. I do not want a juvenile detention center built into this facility or at all. And I ask that the county invest in proactive measures rather than incarcerating children. I am also concerned about the fact that so little community input has been sought and that the planning committee appears to be made up of mostly people deeply entrenched in the criminal justice system. I ask that the matter be put on the agenda for future meetings and community input sought out. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to address?
I would.
Okay.
So
and-
my name is, thanks. My
yes,
name is
name and address. Thank you.
Bonnie Hammock. I live at 805 East 2nd Street, Easton of Winona. Lived here for almost 15 years. I recently read the JAC Space and Needs Assessment, and one of the many things that struck me that I'd like to speak to tonight is the JAC's recommendation that the county engage in a strong and well-developed communication outreach effort to keep citizens and taxpayers informed and engaged. I do not feel the county board has done due diligence to meet that input recommendation, and I feel that the small outreach done by the subcommittee early on in the process was laughably small in scale and certainly not strong or well developed. And I would appreciate more efforts to seek community output. As the others spoke, I think that COVID has made glaringly obvious the over-incarceration that was occurring pre-COVID that is unnecessary. And I think with the current national as well as local loud and demanding calls to really do a deep reflection on our justice system's policies and procedures and how those have caused harm in our community, that the county board engage in that deep reflection with citizens of Winona and to make time in the agenda to have a conversation about building smaller than a 76-bed facility. And I think when that conversation is allowed to happen, that there's going to be a large portion of the community you will hear from that supports a smaller facility as opposed to a larger one. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to address the Winona County Board?
Yes, I would.
All right.
My name is Cara Eggers, and I live in Winona. My address is 613 East 7th Street, Winona. And I do not support the jail or juvenile detention center that is planned to be built in Winona. I have studied the Jail Advisory Committee's report and remain unconvinced of the options being debated by this board. I encourage the Winona County Board of Commissioners to reconsider the reconstruction of this building and reallocate the funds to restorative and preventative aid. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to address the Winona County Board? Is there anyone else wishing to address the Winona County Board? Seeing nobody come forward. Oh, there's a new face. Do you wish to address the Winona County Board?
Could be muted.
The person with the world map behind them, did you wish to address the Winona County Board?
I already addressed if you are
Okay.
speaking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. We're just seeing the world behind you. We didn't.
Yeah.
See that before. Okay, thank you. All right. Thank you very much for everybody's comments. We'll move on to the approval of the county board meeting minutes from November 10th.
I'll move approval. Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Jacob, seconded by Commissioner Olson to approve the meeting minutes from November 2nd. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, approved. Thank you.
Said November 2nd, I think it's November.
Oh,
10th.
November 10th, I'm sorry.
Then aye.
All right. Sorry, my glasses are probably dirty. Consent, item number 4, consent comments and approval of the agenda. Mr. Fritz, do you have any? Now, we did receive an amended agenda, so we're going off the amended agenda. Mr. Fritz, is there anything?
Nothing that I can think of. I hope I have the amended agenda in front of me. But other than that, I'm good.
Yeah, I don't think the items changed. I think some of the guts of the packet were.
Okay.
All right, Commissioner Meyer.
Just an announcement, thanks.
Okay. Commissioner Kavesi.
Nothing for me, thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Olson.
Nothing for me, thanks.
Commissioner Jacob.
I would like to pull 5.6 and then one additional future agenda item.
Okay, so 5.6, we will make it 6.0 in general business, and then you said a future agenda item. Okay. All right, and I have just one announcement at the very end. Okay, with that, would entertain a motion to approve the amended agenda.
So move.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Jacob, seconded by Commissioner Kavesi. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Okay, motion carries. Mr. Fritz, if you would read the items in for the consent business, please.
Yeah, I looked in and I didn't see the amended agenda on our website, and the one I have is from there. So if anything's out of whack, let me know as I go through it. The consent business be read into the record now. Department recommendations 5.1, approve funding to Emmanuel Lutheran for COVID-19 supplies with the use of CARES Act funds. 5.2, approve monthly resolution. 5.3, accept certificate of performance and authorize final payment for SAP 085 598 010. 5.4, approve 2021 funding for aquatic invasive species management and accept 2021 prevention plan. 5.5, approve contract with Harder's Quick Cleanup for county camp solid waste collection services. 5.6 has been pulled for further discussion. 5.7, approve agreement with Eilers and Associates Inc. to be paying agent for the 2020 bonds. And 5.8, confirm payment of disbursements. That should conclude it, the consent agenda.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Passes. I voted aye. I'm sorry. Okay. General business then, which was 5.6, accept letter of engagement and approve contract with Eilers to provide continuing disclosure. Commissioner Jacob.
Well, as I read that under background, the last sentence of that says during the term of the engagement, Eilers shall provide the services with respect to all existing and future securities of Winona County subject to the rule and having continuing disclosure requirements. So I noticed on the next one, 5.7, it's just with respect to what we've already proved. And I'm not on board with approving things into the future. So I wanted to pull that because it ties pieces in the future that I really intend to vote against. Does that make sense?
Yes, and I did ask Mr. Fritz a question about this, that there is an annual fee, and this is related to the bonding.
Yeah, I could kind of maybe address some of it. We have the same relationship with Baker Tilly previously for the other bond issues. And so while the Commissioner Jacob is correct that this is an engagement that would be subject to future bond issues, if we don't have a future bond issue, then there's nothing to manage. So I can understand what it says, and if you want to indicate that it's only for the existing bond issue and make an amendment to that effect, it won't really affect us. We just have to, if there's another bond issue, we'll just have to pass it and have the board pass another one.
Well, if I vote against it, doesn't mean that there isn't still going to be a majority that votes for it.
Yeah, I'm just throwing out there some options that are available if it was really a sticking point for the entire board. But again, it's one of these things that's based on the bond issues we have. And if for some reason the county board wouldn't issue a second bond for the jail, for instance, then they wouldn't be managing it because it doesn't exist. So.
Madam Chair? Madam Chair?
Yes. Commissioner Jacob had a comment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe we can't hear his microphone because we did not hear, I didn't hear anybody move the approval of the consent agenda either. So,
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was Commissioner Jacob and then Commissioner Olson.
yeah, so I think maybe at least I'm not hearing Commissioner Jacob. Sorry.
Okay, so
If I
we're on 5-6.
speak right into this microphone, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
That's better. It's usually very low.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Steve, or Commissioner
So,
Jacob.
I guess my concern would be that I would, if I support this tonight, and then in the future, I don't support future spending on the jail, my vote will have been, this will have been tied to future spending on the jail. So I just don't want to, I don't want to tie myself into something that I don't intend to support down the road. I feel we need some type of solution. I've made that clear. I supported the 10 million, but the numbers that I've seen, 12 million, 15, 18, 20, now I've seen 30, 39 million. No, I'm not there. Sorry. So I can't, I can vote for 5.8 or 5.7 the way it's written, but I can't vote for this.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Commissioner Meyer.
Yes, thank you. And I apologize for if I interrupted you earlier, Commissioner Jacob. Given that the administrator has explained that this particular contract, the way that it's written, if there should not be the second issuance of bonds, it wouldn't really make a difference to the contract. I would move to go ahead and approve this item on the agenda.
Okay, is that is a motion?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We have a motion to approve
I'll second that
contract.
for
Okay.
discussion.
Okay, Commissioner Meyer, seconded by Commissioner Olson. Further discussion. I do have a question because it goes into multiple disclosures and multiple, but can we somehow, with Mr. Fritz's, just say it is for this particular bond that was voted on at the last meeting and not kind of, as Commissioner Jacob pointed out, in the initial language, it's rather open-ended, but maybe it's more clear in the verbiage of the actual letter of engagement, and I'm not in that.
Yeah, if you look at the actual document that's been sent by Eilers, in the last page, I believe it's the third paragraph from the bottom, it says this letter covers the issuer's current outstanding securities. The write-up, the request for board action, was our intent, the staff's intent to have this, be for further bond issues, but the actual document and agreement applies to just this bond issue. So I guess what we're trying to say, and maybe it wasn't worded quite clearly, is that we expect if there's another bond issue that we would use Eilers to do the disclosure. But this agreement, if you really look at it, it only applies to the current bond issue. So.
Right. Any other discussion?
I would like to see the motion amended to include that as a statement, that this is for the current bond issue and excluding future bond issues.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Commissioner.
Yeah,
Meyer.
Commissioner Jacob, are you saying that you want the letter of intent to be modified, or are you saying that you just want the background verbiage on the board action to be modified?
Well, generally the background is the consensus of the board. So, I mean, really we're getting two different statements. One is that the background is wrong and the contract is right. So I just would like to have that clarified.
Yes, I'd be comfortable if you want to change the verbiage of the background. I think that we cannot change the, I'm a little uncomfortable since we didn't write the letter of intent, the vendor did. I don't think that.
Can we just delete that last sentence from the background?
Yes, I'm.
Yeah, well,
I'm-
amending the motion to intend for this bond issue only is fine. That's
Okay.
fine.
Okay. All right. So does the motioner and the second agree to add in that it is for just the particular, and I've got Commissioner Olson.
Yeah, I guess the title says accept letter of engagement. So if we are voting on accepting the letter of engagement, then we'd be accepting what the letter says. But I have no problem. I'll
Yeah.
accept the amendment.
So
Yeah.
the question then is, Commissioner Meyer and Commissioner Olson seconded it. Do you approve, would you approve an amend, would you amend the motion? Accept
Yeah,
an amendment?
I'll accept an amendment, a friendly amendment
Sure.
from Mr. Jacob.
Okay, so it is to accept, but to say with just this, somehow the verbiage to indicate that it is just this current bond that we're dealing with at this time.
Yes,
Okay.
that's my intent.
Okay, all right. Okay, are we all clear on the motion? Oh, wait, we have to vote on the amendment first. Or did we amend the whole motion?
I think you have to vote on the amendment.
Amendment,
If Karen
okay.
were sitting here, she'd tell you to vote.
Yeah, okay.
on the
So the amendment is to add the verbiage of this current, just this current bond issue. So all those in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, nay. Okay, the amendment passes. And now the full motion to accept the letter of engagement and approve the contract with Ehlers to provide continuing disclosure. That was,
It's already on the floor,
yeah,
right?
so the motion, so we'll vote. All those in favor of that motion, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, nay? Okay, that's approved. All right, okay, thank you. Committee reports and such. Commissioner Meyer, you had an announcement?
Yes, I suppose it's a form of announcement. I saw that we got an email from the administrator this morning that we have a number of staff members with the county who are either out with COVID or out because they have relatives or family members with COVID. And we are running sort of short-staffed. And I did just want to take this opportunity to say thank you to all the staff of Winona County. I know that this is a very difficult time, and I am really grateful for your service. And Administrator Fritz, if there is an email address that can go to all county users, I would be happy to send out a note because I know they're not all watching.
Yeah, we do have an all county user email address. Yeah,
Great.
or group.
Yeah. And yeah, that would be it. And everybody have a good Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Jacob, you had an announcement and then a future agenda?
No, I had that
Oh.
item in the,
Future,
yeah. And
okay.
so the future agenda item is we heard again tonight from multiple citizens who would like us to revisit this end size of the jail. What we've had at our previous meeting, the last meeting we had someone come to the podium here and discuss that issue. I think the community is making it clear that they'd like to see the county board have a meaningful dialogue on this, and they want to be more engaged. I think it should come back to the board.
I will second that, so that will move to the next meeting for discussion, correct?
Yes.
Yes, okay. All right, did you get that, Ken?
Yes, I did.
Okay, all right, thank you. I did have one, kind of two announcements. Having living on the ridge, and we had our first major snowstorm today. Please be considerate of snowplow drivers. It's not an easy job. I saw some people trying to clear parking lots. I think the county roads look great. The state roads look great. I desperately need my township to come because my township road is very, very full. But give them space and give them courtesy so that they can do their job and they can do it safely. And we're all safe when you're working around snowplow drivers. And as Commissioner Meyer said, just everybody have a happy and safe holiday. I made a comment that package of turkey franks will go a long way this year, being that my family is not getting together, and we'll have a lot of turkey dogs to share. But everybody be safe, be cognizant of what's going on around you, and just take care of yourselves and celebrate as you can. Thank you. Any other business to come before the Winona County Board?
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Jacob, seconded by Commissioner Olson to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, nay. All right. Good night, folks.
Bye-bye, drive safely.